All right, welcome guys to the NBA live stream for Wednesday. We got 9 games to talk about. Pretty interesting slate here. Good to be back on YouTube and live stream again for you guys. All right, so let's go over what we know so far. So going over from the beginning of the day, let's scroll back all the way up to the beginning of the day. The Nets are waiving a few of the end of the bench guys. Kyle Lowry is probable. Aldridge is in for the Spurs. The Spurs will have 10 available players. John Collins still game time decision. Cam Reddish is doubtful. I think he got ruled out. Kemba Walker got ruled out for rest. Some of the stuff's for Thursday. Let's see. Jeremy Grant, that's a pretty big surprise. He got ruled out for rest. We'll talk about that. Again, Cam Reddish out. John Collins, we're waiting on that. That is pretty significant news. If he's out, Clint Capella looks really good. We're waiting on Oladipo. We're waiting on Eric Gordon news. We have Dragic in, Hero out, Gabe Vincent available to play. Late to the call, yeah. All right, let's go over some of these Vegas odds here. So we have Boston, Celtics, Atlanta Hawks is a 224 over/under. Celtics are 2-point favorites. Warriors and Pacers a 232 over/under. Pacers are 2-point favorites. Timberwolves, Bulls 228.5 over/under. The Bulls are 4.5-point favorites. Pistons, Pelicans 223 over/under. The Pelicans are 10-point favorites. Lakers and Jazz 218.5 over/under. The Jazz are 9-point favorites. Hornets, Suns 226 over/under. The Suns are 9.5-point favorites. And that's what we got so far. So let's start off with Boston, Atlanta with no Kemba Walker. We're still waiting on the starting lineup news. Last game, Kemba Walker's out. Jaylen Brown actually started the point guard. He's at 8-4. Tatum's at 9-2. I think both are really, really safe options with upside in a great matchup. Like them both a lot. If you made me pick, I would lean towards Tatum, but I really do like both the Boston guys there. As far as the bigs go with Tice Thompson, Robert Williams, they all lost minutes. The last game makes them a little bit riskier. Peyton Pritchard at 3.9. The last game he came off the bench when Kemba was out, he played 23 minutes. I'm expecting probably around 25 or so minutes from him. I think he's an interesting contrarian value play, but that's really it for the Boston side. All right, in the Atlanta Hawks side, again, the big news is John Collins. We need that news. If he is out, Clint Capella, I think, makes for a really good spend up at 7-8, probably plays 35-plus minutes. I think Trae Young is always in play for tournaments. He will go overlooked. Boston's going to be somewhat popular today. If you want to bring back Trae Young's your guy. I'm not super interested in Herter. Gallinari will probably play a little more with Reddish, but he's very, very light in the scoring. 2 min-price guys that if John Collins get ruled out, we actually will have to consider that being Solomon Hill and Tony Snell. It's really, really gross, but I expect probably 25-ish minutes from Hill, probably 30-ish minutes from Tony Snell if John Collins is out. So both those guys are pretty low usage, but they are viable if there's no John Collins. Moving on to Houston and Cleveland. So again, the big news is Oladipo and Eric Gordon. If they are both out, I think John Wall makes for a really, really good spend up here at the top at 8-3. Would be one of my favorite plays of the slate. Then we can consider guys like, Sterling Brown, Nwaba, House, Tate, if there's no Oladipo and Eric Gordon. Now, if Oladipo and Eric Gordon are in, then it kind of just takes everyone out of play for me on the Houston side. I will mention this Houston team or this Cleveland team is a bigger team, so Justin Patton might have to play decent minutes on the bench. He was, he's basically their only big on the roster right now. He played 21 minutes off the bench if you want to get a little bit contrarian there. Moving on to Cleveland, I really do like Jarrett Allen here. Even at almost 8K, he should be able to feast against the small ball Houston front court, so really like Allen at the top. Sexton, Garland, more secondary options for me. I'm not really interested in Chetty Osman at that price. Torian Prince is back. I'll always mention JaVale McGee for tournaments. He'll probably play somewhere around 10 to 15 minutes and is a decent point per minute guy. But there's a lot of value now in the slate that I don't think we have to go there. All right, so that's 2 games up, 2 games down. Let's see. Do we have any more news here? Again, we're still waiting on some of that news in the early game, that being Collins, that being, who's going to start for Boston. Let's move on to Golden State and the Pacers. So Steph Curry, like Trae Young, I think it makes for a good tournament play. I don't necessarily think he's a cash game play, but he has gone for 56, 58, and 60 fantasy points the last 3 games. So do have interest in him in GPPs. Of the mid-range guys would be Draymond Green. He still played big minutes even with Lonnie and Wiseman back, which is really good to see. He played 37 minutes, so if he's going to continue to play 35-plus minutes every single night, then yeah, Draymond's a guy that I do like playing because he's a guy, again, that can stuff the stat sheet. Other than that, Wiseman didn't play a ton last game. Kevon Looney is at min price. He did play 20 minutes. I think you can consider him, but there might be better value on the slate with some of the Spurs guys. We move on to the Pacers. Kind of bummed that Sabonis is at 10.5. I mean, you can still play him, but you're definitely overpaying a bit for him. He can still go for 60 plus in this spot, definitely. But like I said, it's not really an optimal price. So Hard to get really confident with that one. Malcolm Brogdon at 8-2. He's been playing big minutes. I expect around 35 to 40 minutes from him. He's gone for 50 fantasy points in back-to-back games. I do have some interest in Brogdon. Other than that, there's not a ton of really love on the Pacers side. Everyone seems priced about right. So that's 3 games up, 3 games down. Let's move on to Minnesota and Chicago. Karl-Anthony Towns for the first game with the new coach played 36 minutes and in a blowout too. He got pulled with a couple of minutes left. So he was on pace for like 38 minutes. Now it is a back-to-back. Maybe they limit him a bit, but if the plan is to play him 37, 38 minutes in a close game, then he is a little bit underpriced here, and especially in this matchup too against Chicago. So I do like Cat a good amount there at the top. I think Malik Beasley is a good tournament play if you want to stack this game. Maybe go Karl-Anthony Towns, Malik Beasley, running back with Zach LaVine for GPPs. Don't mind that at all. Again, Beasley's been very up and down, so hard to trust him in a cash game setting. Kind of same with Anthony Edwards. I think I'd just rather get to Beasley. And then I will mention Jordan McLaughlin for value. He will be overlooked with a lot of the Spurs value, some Saban Lee, some of the Pistons guys in the slate. But he's quietly been pretty solid. 22, 21, 25 minutes off the bench, 26, 22, 22 fantasy points. I think he's an intriguing contrarian value play. On the Chicago Bulls side, so Zach LaVine at the top, more of a GPP play, but does have upside. Revenge game here, great matchup. So, I have interest in him for GPPs. Kobe White at 6'5". Starting to play more consistent minutes, 35, 31 in a blowout, was on pace for more. I think he's definitely viable in the mid-range. Other than that, not a ton else I love here. I think Wendell Carter Jr. at 5.8K. They're probably going to need him out there to defend Cat. There obviously is some foul trouble concerns here with Wendell Carter Jr., so that is a slight risk, but I assume he's probably going to have to play 30 minutes. I think he's a decent tournament play. All right, so that is 4 games down, guys. Let's see, where are we at? We are at 330 viewers, 39 likes. So try to reach 100 likes before the end of the show. Would be greatly, greatly appreciated. All right, moving on to Toronto and Miami. So on the Toronto side, Lowry looks like he is back. I haven't heard anything of a minutes limit, so as long as there's no limitations for Kyle Lowry, he is actually my preferred option here on the Toronto Raptors because the price at 7-1, whereas Siakam and Van Fleet both priced up from when Lowry was out. So I actually would rather play Kyle Lowry than Siakam or Fred Van Fleet. Kind of takes Powell out of play. It makes OG Anunoby more of a secondary play. Chris Boucher at 5'9", you can always take a shot at him for tournaments. We probably are going to get somewhere around 20 to 25 minutes. If you get a little bit more, obviously there's upside for more from him because he's a good point per minute guy. But yeah, guys like Bembry out of play now with Lowry back. Are they going to use Aaron Baines against Bam Adebayo? I'm not sure if they're going to need him. Again, they really needed him against Embiid where he played 30 minutes in back-to-back games. Will they need him to defend Bam? I'm not sure. I think they could use like an undersized Pascal Siakam or maybe use Boucher. So I'm not sure if he's going to extend it here. And again, there's a lot of really good value already on this slate. On the Miami Heat side, so Dragic in, that kind of takes Kendrick Nunn out of play for me. And with Dragic being in, Bam, Jimmy Butler, more secondary plays in the slate for me. So really not a ton I like on the Miami side. Moving on to Detroit and New Orleans. So the big news is no Jeremy Grant. We already have no DeLon Wright. Again, Blake Griffin out as well. So Mason Plumlee, I actually think is a pretty solid player in the mid-range. And might go overlooked. He should play 30 to 33 minutes in a close game. He's the guy that can stuff the stat sheet. One of the higher usage guys out of the offense is Jeremy Grant. I do like Mason Plumlee at that price point. I do think he goes a little bit overlooked. Now, with no Jeremy Grant, Josh Jackson probably has to play more. I don't love the price in him, but he's been an aggressive offensive player. Sadiq Bey is viable. Does get a little bit of a usage boost. Don't love the price either in him, though. The two cheap guys that I mentioned here, Saban Lee, once again at 3.8. He's been playing about 30 minutes off the bench. He's been a solid point per minute guy. I do like him for value. And then I'm curious to see what Detroit does with the starting lineup. Do they move a guy like Sekou Doumbouya in the starting lineup? If they do, at almost mid-price, and yeah, he's firmly in play. They also have a couple other options, right? They can move C. Mikhailuk in there. So we'll just have to see what Detroit does with the starting lineup here and to see who they start for Jeremy Grant. All right, let's refresh this. Let's see, make sure we're up to date here. No minutes limit from LaMarcus Aldridge. That is a little bit surprising. Okay. John Collins available to play. So kind of that hurts Clint Capella. That definitely takes those value, Atlanta Hawk guys out of play for me. All right, on the New Orleans side, Zion and Brandon Ingram at 8-8 and 8-1 respectively. It is a good matchup. There is some blowout risk here. Both are viable plays, but neither are standout plays. The guy that does kind of stand out to me is Lonzo Ball because of the minutes, 36, 36, and 39 minutes the last 3 games. If he's going to continue to play 35-plus minutes, I think he is a good play at that price point. Adams is back, which makes Hernan Gomez a little riskier. Even so, with Adams, like the minutes have been up and down, so hard to trust that. I will mention Josh Hart has been flash him upside, 40, 43, 53 fantasy points in 3 of the last 7 games. Like, we've seen some big games from him. Also, we've seen some low floor games, though, too. So I think he's a decent tournament play at his price. All right, 3 games left here. The big one here, San Antonio and OKC. This is definitely the game you want to load up on, in my opinion. DeJounte Murray at 7-4, one of the best plays of the slate. I think a lot of you guys know that. With the Spurs being really, really thin, I really do like DeJounte Murray. Jakob Poeltl with Aldridge back, kind of off Jakob Poeltl. Now, Aldridge with no minutes limit. I'm curious to see how many minutes he plays. Does he only play like 25 to 30? Does he play 35? I'm not exactly sure, but I think Aldridge is firmly played now in the mid-range with no minutes limit on him. And then we have guys like Patty Mills, Lonnie Walker, I think are 2 of the best value plays of the slate. Patty Mills gets a huge, huge usage boost with all these guys out. Lonnie Walker, again, he's probably going to have to play big minutes, so like them both a lot for value. Trey Lyles at 3-2. Curious to see what the Spurs do with the starting lineup. They have 10, available players, so there's always a chance we can still get popped. That's always in the realm of possibilities. But yeah, Trey Lyles at almost min-price if he starts, I think would be a good value. They also have a couple other guys like Hayden Bates Diop they can use. They can use Trey Jones on the bench. So those guys are more risky, contrarian value plays. Really, the guys I'm looking to: Patty Mills, Lonnie Walker, maybe Trey Lyles if he starts, and then DeJounte Murray and Aldridge there at the top. On the Oklahoma City side, it's really SGA. We know the San Antonio Spurs are going to be really popular on the slate. If you want to bring back, it's definitely SGA. Going to play 35-plus minutes. A guy that can stuff the stat sheet. Good matchup here. The price, I do think, makes him more of a tournament play, but I do like SGA still. Al Horford at 6'4" would be the other guy I would probably look to. Probably plays 28 to 30 minutes. Has flashed some upside here. So really, it's those 2 guys. Not a ton else I like on the Oklahoma City side. Moving on to Charlotte and Phoenix. So the Charlotte side, Gordon Hayward now probable. That takes PJ Washington and Miles Bridges out of play for me. I think LaMelo Ball is a good tournament play. He will be very low owned, but he should play 35-plus minutes and is a solid point per minute, a good point per minute guy. Not really interested in Rozier at that price. Other than that, not a ton I like on the Charlotte side. Moving on to Phoenix, a lot of these guys will be low owned. It's a good matchup, but it's hard to get super excited about anyone here. Booker, Paul, Ayton, the big 3 there, all viable. No real standouts for me, though. Moving on to the Lakers and the Utah Jazz. So LeBron James, more of a contrarian play at 11K. Same with Kyle Kuzma. I'm not paying that price for Montrezl Harrell. KCP has played 35 minutes in back-to-back games. If you need someone cheap, again, he's fine. I think I prefer other value plays because he's very, very reliant on the scoring. THT minutes trending down. There's no way I'm playing Wesley Matthews. I'm not paying over 4K for Alex Caruso on the main slate. And then finally, Utah Jazz, they are pretty healthy. So when they are healthy, they're a hard team to target. I think the guy would be Mike Conley at 6'1". Probably plays about 30 minutes. Mitchell at almost 9K, don't love the price. Gobert, not really playing more than 30 to 32 minutes in close games. I will mention Favors will get 15 to 17 minutes off the bench and is a solid point per minute guy, but more of a contrarian value play on this slate. All right, so that is really it, guys. Saved about 10 to 15 minutes here for some questions. Let's refresh Fantasy Labs. I know I want quick, but I always want to leave room for questions at the end. So, all right, we got the starting lineup news. What on earth is Greg Popovich doing here? Luka Samanic at the 3? I already know I'm going to get popped somehow. Just know, the slate is to load up on the Spurs, and we are going to get popped somehow. What on earth is Greg Popovich doing with this starting lineup? Starting a big at the 3? I have no idea. But, okay, so Samanic is starting at the 3. Who else? So Aldridge is not starting. Poeltl starting at the 5, but I'm not are Poeltl and Aldridge going to play a ton alongside each other? I'm not sure. I still like Patty Mills on the bench. Patty Mills is still a good play on the bench. He's still one of the better value plays. I also like Lonnie Walker, DeJounte Murray. Lyles and Samanic, since they're both starting, I think are both good values. I'm just a little bit worried that one of these, like, they'll start and they'll get pulled after a few minutes, and then you'll just get popped and they'll play like 10 minutes total. But yeah, Lyles, Samancic, both close to mid price, both are starting. They're both viable value plays. If you're going to ask me how many minutes they play, I have no idea. Again, there's a good chance that we are going to get popped somehow on the slate, and I just don't understand that starting lineup at all. What I was expecting for a starting lineup was DeJounte Murray, Patty Mills, Lonnie Walker, Aldridge, and Pearl. That's what I was expecting. But it just makes it a little bit interesting. Again, I still really like Lonnie Walker, still really like DeJounte Murray, I still really like Patty Mills. Samancic and Lyles are now very much in play since they're both starting. Aldridge not starting makes him riskier. There is no minutes limit, but I don't think he's going to play huge minutes. So I don't love Aldridge now that he's not starting. And Pirtle, he is starting at the 5, but I'm not sure how many minutes he plays. So he's a riskier play at his current price. All right, so that's really it for the team by team breakdown, guys. Let's get some questions now. All right. So, Dean Wayne is starting for the Cats. Stars and scrubs. I think it's definitely leaning towards that build with a lot of the Spurs value. We have some Pistons value. Again, waiting on some news there. But I think that's kind of what's leaning towards. Thoughts on Shea? I like him as he's my favorite bring back if you're going to stack the Spurs. You don't have to bring it back with someone you can play 3 or 4 Spurs tonight, and you don't necessarily have to bring it back with one of the OKC guys. But Shea would be the bring back guy if you're going to make me pick. Firstly, in a week after the Storms and Toxic DK being gone, I already know I'm going to get popped. Yeah, exactly. Fade the Spurs. I would not fade the Spurs. Definitely get at least a couple Spurs in your lineup. One Spur, I think I would probably play at least 2. But that's just me. Might stick to Murray and Lonnie. Yeah, Lowry in. Yeah, so Lowry in. Rank the Spurs players. I mean, I think the 2 best value plays are probably still Lonnie Walker and Patty Mills. DeJounte Murray at the top. Those are my favorite plays. Aldridge, Pirtle, a little risky because I'm not sure how many minutes they're going to play. And then you have guys like Samancic and Lyles, since they're starting, are viable. But again, I have no idea how many minutes they're going to play. So the Spurs, they have more bigs than they do guards. That's why I feel a little bit better. Guys like DeJounte Murray, Lonnie Walker, Patty Mills. John Wall, Patty Mills, Tatum, Lyles, Jarrett Allen, Murray, Iggy, Wendell Carter Jr. I don't love Iguodala. I think there's better value on the slate. Everything else is fine, though. Wendell Carter Jr. obviously is a risk. Murray, Lonnie Walker, Lyles, and Mills, only Spurs. Yeah, I mean, I think that's pretty safe. Can you fade the first game? What is the first game? Boston and Atlanta? You can. I mean, I'm pretty high on Tatum and Jaylen Brown with no Kemba Walker. So fade Patty Mills. No, I still like Patty Mills. 4 Spurs too much. You can do it. Fave Spurs value play. Probably still Patty Mills on the bench. I would say Patty Mills or Lonnie Walker. I'm not getting popped if Gordon Depot's out. I'm going to get some Houston players. What do you think? Yeah, I think that's solid. If both those guys are out, I really like John Wall, and then we have those value guys. The only issue I have with the Houston value is they're a little bit priced up. A lot of guys in the 5 to 6K range. And we have Sterling Brown at 4.2 with Nwaba is just over 5K. Who do you like from the Pistons? I need to see the starting lineup. I really like Saban Lee still for value. I like Mason Plumlee a lot in the mid-range. I think Josh Jackson, Sadiq Bey are solid plays in the mid-range. And then depending on who starts, if Sekou Doumbouya starts, I think he's a good value play because he's almost at mid-price. Dean Wade playable. I don't think we have to do that in the slate. I think there's just better value. I was already on Walker and Lyles, yeah. 5,500 too much for Saban Lee and FanDuel. I think it's, or 5K. I think it's solid. Saban Lee is definitely not Saban, yeah. So 5K, I was thinking, for some reason I get Saban Lee and Sadiq Bey mixed up a little bit because they're very similar, first name, last name. 5K on FanDuel, that might be a little bit much for Saban Lee. Baisley, not really interested in that. Thoughts on Zion tonight? At almost 9K, I think he's a little pricey, still playable. It is a good matchup, but yeah, not my first spend up in there. Where's your tan? Well, I got some bright lights on. I actually am a little bit tan. I got burnt at the last day, but yeah, it's kind of hard to tell with with these because I got the blue light or whatever these lights are called on me. How many Spurs too many in GPP? I think 3 to 4 is probably the limit I would go. Is Samancic a good point per minute guy? Yeah, he's actually a solid point per minute guy, but it's just weird him playing the 3 because he's a big. So I just don't know how this is going to work for the Spurs. Best pay up. I don't know if there's one standout pay up, but I think It depends what you're playing. I think guys like Steph Curry, Trae Young, Zach LaVine for tournaments all look good. I think more like cashy plays like our Karl Anthony Towns below 10K. I'm really high on both Boston guys and Tatum and Jaylen Brown. We can go to Zion. SGA I think still looks good. John Wall would look really good if there's no Oladipo and no Eric Gordon. So do we fade the last 2 games? You can definitely fade the last 2 games. Zach LaVine, more in play for tournaments for me. Mills, Walker, both. I think you can definitely play both. I like Zion, but Grant being out is blowout city. Yeah, there's definitely some blowout risk there for sure. Semi Ojeleye, no thank you. All-Star snub core, Trae, Sabonis, Booker. You can do it. Yeah, the All-Star snub narrative. The only issue I have with Sabonis is he's priced up. But yeah, you can definitely do that. 2 VP Spurs, Murray is. Yeah, I think that's a good way to go. DK, do you think Bey and Josh Jackson more viable now, even those prices? I don't love the price in Sadiq Bey. I think I'd rather play Josh Jackson than Sadiq Bey. They're both solid plays in the mid-range. If I'm going to play one of the mid-range guys on the Pistons, it's going to be Mason Plumlee. Like, he would be the first guy in for me, would be Plumlee. It would probably be Plumlee, then Josh Jackson, then Sadiq Bey. But I'm really looking more towards that value. I think it's setting up for more of these stars and scrubs build. So, not saying Bey and Jackson are out of play, but I think they're more contrarian plays still because it's really, you're going to want to go that stars and scrubs. DK, for a single entry, Jarrett Allen, Saban Lee, or Miles Turner, Kevin Huerter. Definitely Jarrett Allen, Saban Lee for me. Semi Ojeleye, no thank you. SGA and Mills or Lonnie Walker and Zion. Give me SGA and Mills there. How does this look, DK? SGA, Walker, Wiggins, Hayward, Ayton, Lonzo Ball, and Adams. I don't love, I don't love Wiggins. Gordon Hayward, I think more just a contrarian play. You got some contrarian plays in there. Like Steven Adams, too, I'm not convinced about his minutes. Is it viable to play both Cleveland centers? I don't know if I would do that in this slate. I think I would only pick one. Obviously, JaVale McGee is a high-risk, high-reward play. Like, if you get some Jarrett Allen foul trouble and he plays more than 15 minutes, he could crush. But I think there's just safer value on the slate. Fade the last 2 games. Yeah, you can definitely do that. DeJounte Murray, Mills, Walker, Lyles, Jarrett Allen, LaMelo, Brown, Lonzo for cash thoughts. I don't really know if LaMelo is a cash game play. Everything else I'm fine with for cash. Is it safe to fade the last 2 games? Yes. Pop loves Patty Mills. Yeah, I'm still really high on Patty Mills. Sadiq Bey, solid. I think I prefer the value though. Is Sabonis worth the pay up? He's definitely overpriced in my opinion. Still can get there. SJ only 7.5 in FanDuel. Yeah, that looks good. Jarrett Allen or Cat. I like them both a lot. I think you could play both if you want to. Give me the discount on Jarrett Allen if you made me a pick, but I really do like both. Sarge, decent value. I don't think we have to go there. He's played more because of blowouts. Lowry or Sexton. Lowry is crazy to put Jakob Poeltl. Kobe White, Oubre, and Draymond Green in the utility. Jakob Poeltl over Kobe White. You can do it. Again, I'm not convinced about Jakob Poeltl's minutes with Aldridge there. With Lot, I don't know how many minutes he's going to play. So it's a little bit of a riskier play. Mills, yes, I still like Mills. LaVine or Cat. Thoughts on Zion tonight? A little pricey, but still in play. Do you like Jarrett Allen tonight? Yes, I do like Jarrett Allen a lot. I think he could crush against that small ball Houston team. Best pay up kind of went over that. I think Tatum was a really, really good spend up. Samancic, best Luka in Texas. Curry or Young. If I'm going to take a shot in one, I think it would be Curry, but they're very, very similar plays for tournaments. Do you think the Pelicans playing blowouts? No, the Pelicans will not play in blowouts. So guys like Zion, Ingram, Lonzo, they'll get pulled. Tony Snell value play, not with John Collins in. I think there's better value plays on the board with the Spurs guys, with the Pistons guys. Capella or Plumlee. Give me the discount on Plumlee there. Pay up for Trae or save a guard. You can definitely, it's up to you, right? Trae more of a GBP play. LaMelo in play, yes, but only for tournaments. Allen or Capella. Allen. Now with John Collins in, DeJounte Murray, Mills, Lonnie Walker, Ingram, Jarrett Allen, Saban Lee, Brown. I think that's fine for cash. Zion or Siakam, Zion there. Jalen or SGA. Depends. If you have Tatum, then go SGA. If you don't have Tatum, go Jaylen Brown. I think I'll try to get to one of those Boston guys who know Kemba Walker. Allen, Capella, or Gobert. Allen, 55 fantasy points easily. Thoughts on Gordon Hayward? Contrarian play. Not really interested. Mills, Walker, Tatum, Allen, Wall, Bey. Yeah, that's solid. You need Oladipo and Eric Gordon to be out. Favorite small forward 6K and below. Let's see. Small forward 6K and below. Not a ton of love here. I think for me, I would just go to Josh Jackson there. I don't love that range. I want to be more in that stars and scrub. I don't really want to play a lot of guys in the mid-range. So Capella, still solid. I don't love him now, though, with John Collins back. Shooting guard under 6.5K. Let's see. Again, this is just a range I don't really want to be in. 6.5K and under, I would say probably Beasley or Kobe White. Both have been a little bit up and down. I guess Kobe White might be a little bit safer. So if you want a safety, Kobe White. Cat plus Lyles or Devin Booker plus PJ Washington. Give me Cat and Lyles. None still good play. Not super interested now with Goran Dragic there. Thanks to carry the best scores. Rolling with Lonzo Ball, Aaron Holiday. I wouldn't play those value plays. Can everybody say get popped? Yeah, Tony Snell, no thank you now with John Collins in. Ayton or Lonzo Ball. Lonzo for cash, Ayton for GPPs. Not really interested in the Pacers secondary plays in this slate now. Rozier, CP3. What's the 4 minutes for Samancic? Floor, I think probably 15. Upside of maybe 25. I would say he probably plays somewhere in that range. I don't think he's going to play huge minutes, but we'll see. Play Lyles better off, I think. Yeah, I think Lyles may be a little bit safer. D-Buck replacing 80 in the All-Star game. Okay. People know the risk with Pop. Any interest in Donovan? A little pricey for me. Sabonis or LeBron. They're both overpriced. If I'm going to pick one, though, would we actually go Sabonis? Lonnie going to do good? Yeah, I think Lonnie and Patty Mills look really good. Lee, Mills, Tatum, Sabonis, Allen, Murray, Walker, Lyles. I'm good with it. Is Gabe Vincent? No, I wouldn't play Gabe Vincent. Thoughts on fading Murray for cash? Pretty risky, to be honest. I don't think you do that in cash games. You can do it for tournaments. Is Lee? Yeah, Lee I like for value as long as he continues to play 30-ish minutes. Will Michigan lose to 16 seed? Hopefully not. I was running the brothers. Okay. Gotcha. I want to go Sabonis. Yeah, again, it's a little pricey for me. McDaniels or Lyles? Spurs value for sure. Love Lonzo tonight. I think Lonzo's a good play. I think Lonzo's probably my favorite play in the Pelicans. Dragic in. Yeah, Mills I do like. Trey or Murray. Give me the price on Murray. Murray's or Hero's out. Jaylen Brown or Spidey. I would go Jaylen Brown there. Lyles and Sabonis or LeBron and Lucas Samancic. Lyles and Sabonis. Curry or Sabonis. Upside wise, it's Curry. Safer, I think, is Sabonis. Josh Hart and DK. He's in play for value. He's been a little up and down. Yeah, Pirtle's viable. I'm not convinced about his minutes. Yeah, you can play both Boston guys. Best value center, I would say probably one of those Spurs guys. Lyles and Samancic, I think, are both center eligible. Okay, so Jeff Teague is starting at the point guard. Oh, man. I don't think he's going to play more than probably like 20-ish minutes, but I'm pretty sure he's like min price. Let's see. It is a good matchup, too, against the Hawks. It's a revenge game, too, against Atlanta. He is min price. I think we probably get around 20 minutes from Jeff Teague. So, like, yeah, Jeff Teague is playable. Josh Jackson or Bay? Josh Jackson. 8,900 utility. I think cash games would probably be Zion, GBPs, LaMelo. Dragic, I'm going to pass in his first game back in a while. I think I would prefer Sekou, yeah. I think I'll feel a little more comfortable with his minutes, but we'll see. Yeah, Teague's not been good. Patton Rockets value, riskier value play, but like if he plays 20 minutes on the bench, I could see him get it going there. Herter, no thank you. Lee, yeah, I would rather have Lee than Teague. I mean, he is min price. I know Jeff Teague's been really, really bad, but if he plays 25 minutes tonight, there's a decent chance he pays all that salary. Lee, Lonnie Walker, Tatum, Lyles, Allen, Murray, Siakam, Plumlee. I think it's a good lineup. Brown or Young? Brown for the discount. Butler, Tatum. Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people are the same mindset of like, oh, screw Jeff Teague, he's terrible, blah, blah, blah. He's starting, so like, I think we get at least 20 minutes from him. Curry or Trey? Curry. Capella or Allen, or go down to Plumlee? Give me Allen there. Any value in Atlanta? Not really. Not with Collins playing. Booker, SGA. 4 Spurs too much. That's fine. Murray, Mills, Walker, Lyles, Jared Allen, Shea, Jaylen Brown, Lonzo for cash. I think that's pretty good. I think he was very limited upside with Tatum and Brown handling the ball up day. Yeah, like he's not going to handle the ball a ton. That's the issue. Patent value, risky value. Brown and Curry or Sabonis and Allen. Give me Sabonis and Allen there. Even though Sabonis is overpriced. I want to make that clear. Sabonis is overpriced, so like you are overpaying for him if you play him. That's what I think. I think 20-ish, 20 to 25 minutes maybe. Pritchard definitely can take minutes from him for sure. Best play under 4K, Spurs value for sure. Like probably Mills is 3.7, right? Or he's 4.3. Lonnie Walker is 3.7. Yeah, so Lonnie Walker would be the answer there. Lee, Mills, Brown, and I think it's a good lineup. Yeah, even though Teague's starting, like he's definitely not a must play by any means. All right, let's see. Any more news here? I'll stand for one more minute, guys, and I do have to get out of here. I appreciate everyone coming to check out the live stream. It's good to be back. Good to be live streaming again, guys. We hit over 400 viewers, 96 likes. I appreciate that. Good value for 3,600. Again, it's going to be these Spurs for me. So who is in that range? I would say Trey Lyles at 3,200. We have, Sekru. If Sekru starts, I think he's good value too, but we need to see that Pistons starting lineup. Lee, SGA, Tatum, Lyles, Allen, Murray, Walk. Yeah, I think that's a good lineup. Brogdon or SGA. Give me SGA there. Who is supposed to guard Tatum and Brown? I'm not sure. I haven't really watched the Hawks Boston series. Like I know they played a lot recently, but yeah, I like them both a lot. I wouldn't play Norman Powell, no. SGA, Wall, or Brogdon for cash. I would say John Wall if both Oladipo and Eric Gordon are out would be John Wall for me. If they're both in, then I would avoid John Wall and probably lean towards SGA, but it'd be close. 5,200, I can see. Again, there's not a ton I love in that mid-range. I think it's definitely that stars and scrubs build you want to go to. There's really not a lot I like here, to be honest. Like you can go to Daniel Tice. Again, he lost minutes the last game. That's why I'm a little bit concerned. He only played 26. I don't love the price on him either. I would say David Nwaba if both those Houston guards are out, but like it's just not a range I really want to be in. Brown or Booker, Brown, Sekru or Lyles, depends. It's I'm going to say Lyles right now. Oladipo is playing. Is he playing? All right, guys. Oladipo's playing. Eric Gordon available to play. PJ Tucker available to play. Oladipo will start. Okay, yeah. So that kind of takes Wall out of play. That kind of takes the value Rockets out of play. But that's going to do it for me, guys. Good luck to everyone. I hope you guys have a great day. I will be back here for another live stream tomorrow. So I will see you guys.